Another major issue in the industry at the moment, I think, is skills shortage. Now, I believe you mentioned where you're located and referenced the oil and gas industry. Am I right in thinking you being able to tap into some of those skills that I guess that industry is, I don't know if it's in terminal decline or gradual decline, but there's some resource there that you've been able to access, yeah?
Yes, just to add on to your a little bit more on your question. If you look at the recent Uptime Institute report, that shows that skills shortage is a global challenge for the industry. I've been saying we've been lucky because we here in Stavanger, where we're operating, have a highly skilled workforce. And we haven't had any problem with finding or recruiting the right people to Green Montain. And as well, this shift from declining oil and gas industry into a more sustainable industry has given access to highly qualified personnel. And as well, we also see a huge interest in working in companies like Green Montain. So when we're out looking for people, there is a lot of people that's raising interest to work at us. We have also worked over the last 5 years quite hard together with the government to have a focus on putting up educations in our area, and we have succeeded with that, and there is currently one study in close to our second data center in Telemark that has a 2-year technical data center engineer study. So we have access to people. We've added, or we worked together with the government to put on more school classes on that as well. And we're also a registered apprentice company, meaning that we are able to employ young students and let them complete their education by us. So if you look at the growth we've had over the last 3 years, where we tripled the revenue, we have as well more than tripled the organization. So and we've been able to do that with highly competent workforce, and we don't see the same challenges as Uptime is currently seeing worldwide, and we definitely not see this as a threat to the growth moving forward.
And in terms of that growth, obviously the growth is fueled by your customer base. So I'm just wondering if you can give us a bit of insight into that. Obviously the hyperscalers, everyone loves to have a hyperscaler or two in their data center if possible. And then, I mean, I don't know whether the high performance compute, AI industries, can you give us just sort of a general overview of where the customers are coming from now and maybe in the future?
Yeah, I could definitely do that. We see at the moment, we see a high growth within some sectors. Those are, as you mentioned, cloud. That's one of them. Service provider, AI, HPC, and large enterprises. Those sectors currently consist of 80% of our revenue, and those are as well our main focuses moving forward, and that is also why we're currently have a high focus on identifying new sites, because a lot of the cloud service providers have a growth strategy, meaning that you have to have a site or a location where they are able to grow moving into the future. We could not end up with having a site that's after a couple of years are out of power or out of space. HPC AI is also an interesting segment, and the reason for that is that there is quite a it's quite an equal infrastructure. You put up quite a lot of identical servers and let them run at this site for a couple of years before you change them. They don't require a lot of maintenance. They don't require a lot of assistance. So you're able to locate such a site a little bit further away from an international airport and more focus on, let's say, the economy of a site. So the Rjukan site we have is located about 2 hours out of Oslo, but it's a location where the governmental incentives are high and the focus from the local government is also really high, meaning that we're even more competitive on that solution when it comes to cost of power and also cost of labor. So the site in Rjukan, that's the location where Volkswagen decided to move their HPC operation in 2019. And that's the main focus for what we're doing.
Okay, so we've covered quite a lot of ground there about the company and some of the data center issues more generally. I guess before we finish, though, a couple of points you'd like to get. You know, people looking for a co-location partner provider, what to look out for. Particularly, I guess, you know, people might think, well, I'm in the UK, I want to use a UK data center, or I'm in France, I'll use one in Paris. Just thoughts about, you know, that kind of process for someone looking for a colo provider.
I'll do that, and I would say it's all about trust. Summarizing a little bit about what I've gone through this webinar is that we're a well-renowned supplier. We have a high customer certification. We have customers, reference customers that are able to give a good overview of how Green Montain are as a supplier. We've been into it earlier with the sustainability part of being in Norway, with a carbon footprint, higher focus on that. We have the Paris Agreement and the EU sustainability goals, meaning that we have to do something in order to reduce the amount of carbon being used in the power production, and Norway are able to be that supplier that could assist on that growth. It is as well with when deciding where to go, look at who is the owner of that company. Green Montain has, as I said, solid owners with a long track record, and we have the necessary funding to continue our growth. And at last, the cost element, meaning that being in Norway, operating with in one of our data center would dramatically reduce the overall data center cost.
Okay, well, I really appreciate your time today. Thanks very much, Tor Kristian.
Thank you.